actually posted videos about all this back in 2012. You might find them in my archive file. But coming back from playing racquetball this morning, I heard that Fast and Furious might be rearing its ugly head again based on memos that were uncovered. I want to bring your attention to a short video. This was put up on July the 12th, 2011. And the article is titled, David Augden Announces Gunrunner on March the 24th, 2009. David Augden, the Deputy Attorney General, on March the 24th, 2009, at the podium of the James Bradley Press Room in the White House, with Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano in the background, as seen on a full C-SPAN video, for which this was copied, link at the bottom. This is the smoking gun that directly links Obama to the Fast and Furious Gunrunner operation. I said that back then. Just so you know, Obama said how he learned about Fast and Furious was on television. And the Homeland Security Secretary, Janet Napolitano, she said she didn't know anything about it until Brian Terry was murdered, as did Eric H. Holder Jr. Problem is, there's video to prove otherwise. She was standing right beside David Augden when he gave this presentation in 2009. Here is a text of Ogden's remarks in their entirety. DOJ, Drug Enforcement Administration, which already has the largest U.S. drug enforcement presence in Mexico, with 11 offices in that country, is placing 16 new DA positions to southwest border operations, specifically to target Mexican trafficking and associated violence. The DEA is also deploying 4 new mobile enforcement teams to specifically target Mexican methamphetamine trafficking, both along the border and in the U.S. cities impacted by the cartels. DOJ's Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is increasing its efforts by adding 37 new employees and 3 new offices, using $10 million in Recovery Act funds and redeploying 100 personnel to the southwest border in the next 45 days to fortify its Project Gunrunner, which is aimed at disrupting arms trafficking between the United States and Mexico. ATF is doubling its presence in Mexico itself, from 5 to 9 personnel working with the Mexicans, specifically to facilitate gun tracing activities, which targets illegal weapons and the sources in the United States. In the spring of 2009, the Obama administration called for the banning of assault rifles and .50 caliber BMG sniper rifles due to their use in crimes by Mexican drug cartels. Obama dubiously alleged, and as debunked by FactCheck.org on April 12, 2009, at 90% of these weapons were tracked back to the United States, implying that Americans have an obligation to surrender some of our freedom to keep these weapons from being smuggled illegally over the border and used in Mexican violence in Mexico. That's what this whole thing was all about. Obama provided the initial $10 million in funding. The name changed to Operation Fast and Furious. Not a single person was held accountable. Some got demoted, they got transferred, but nobody was held accountable for all the mayhem and murders that occurred, including the border agent Brian Terry, who was killed by one of the AK-47s that this criminal administration allowed to cross the border. Folks, I said it back then, and I'm saying it now. They're a criminal organization. Barack Hussein Obama needs to be held accountable. Janet Napolitano needs to be held accountable. And Eric H. Holder Jr. and all the minions that worked for them, they all need to be held accountable. There's no doubt they had planned to do this to show the kind of violence across the border and then come back to take away our Second Amendment rights. That's what it was all about. Now, when that all came tumbling down, they created another false flag, Sandy Hook. And when that all came tumbling down, they did the Boston Marathon bombing. And then when that came tumbling down, they did the shooting in Florida at the nightclub. These people are absolutely ruthless. They have no regard for human life. I got to believe they also were instrumental and responsible for the shooting in Southern California. Read the article, listen to what's said. Jeanette Neapolo denied having any prior knowledge, as did Barack Obama, as did Eric H. Holder Jr., and they're up to their yin-yangs. I've done a whole lot of searching. I tried to find David Augden a couple of years ago. He disappeared. He virtually disappeared. If you know where he is, let me know. I think he was sent to Afghanistan or to Iraq, and they got rid of him. They don't care who they kill. I'll attach the link. There's additional links. You'll see that dirtbag Eric H. Holder Jr. What about all the billions of rounds of ammunition? Whatever happened to all of that? How come nobody's asking that the post office was buying hollow point ammunition? The IRS was buying hollow point ammunition. What happened to it? Where the hell is it all? Criminal, corrupt, dysfunctional organization. And they all need to be held accountable. That's sort of what I think. Watch the video. Listen to what David Augden says. Watch the links attached. It's absolutely insane. But they might all be held accountable. Thanks for listening.